गोविंद हरे मुरारे,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव,
हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। भगवान की जय। सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्तदामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततध्यतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः, देवाय तस्मै नमः। A philosopher need not necessarily be a teacher. A philosopher, for that matter, may have a lofty vision about life, ideal, and such a person will be a deep thinker, one who can think beyond what the senses can comprehend. And very often we see such philosophers are very solitude-loving people. They want to remain in solitude, in silence, or in isolation because they want to go deeper into their own thinking. What you call musing, what you say, in musing, not amusing. So, but a teacher, on the other hand, is one who is trying to translate what he has been thinking into a form of understanding to the another person. So, the philosopher, when he turns to become a teacher, he needs to bring about certain amount of compromise in his teaching. Because when a teacher tries to translate what he has understood in the form of words, and he knows that he will fail, he often regrets for that. But at the same time, he cannot stop teaching, because that is the only way the next generation will understand what that lofty truth is. If all the philosophers remain in silence and never pass on that knowledge to others, then obviously that greater understanding will be not known to anybody. So that is why the great rishis who sat in contemplation, they are called rishis because they saw the truth, but they attempted to explain what they have understood in the form of words to the people whom they met in their life. Though they know Shaptajalam Maharanyam Chitta Brahmanakaranam, it is said in the Sanskrit text that Shaptajalam, it is full of words, the net of words. Chitta Brahmanakaranam, it is merely a deluder of thinking, delusion of thinking. Because words by themselves cannot convey what the experience one has. So here Bhagavan Krishna is trying to enlighten Arjuna about the concept of Prakriti, the matter, and the spirit, the Purusha. We all are living, as we have been living for so many years, we know it, that beyond the physical body there is something which is a living presence which is enlivening this physical body. What science would call it as life, which according to them is lodged inside the body, but in the case of a philosopher, he doesn't limit that life as something which is confined to the body. That is the reason why they think beyond. They understand that physical body is enlivened by not from within, it is from without. That is why yesterday we saw very clearly, Acharam Charame Vacha, Bhagirantascha Bodhanam, Acharam Charame Vacha. Sukshmatva tad avijneyam durastam cha antike cha tat. It is outside and inside, moving and unmoving. Being subtle, it is very difficult to know. It is far, at the same time it is so near. These are all contradictions. For a hasty reader of a verse from Gita will think that it is as Max Muller, when he first read the Vedic statements, he made a comment, it is nothing but blabbering of the lotus eaters. Because he couldn't understand a head or tail of what they are talking about. But later on, the same Max Muller became such a lover of the Vedic wisdom. He indeed took the Vedic scriptures to Germany and he recreated the entire knowledge base in his own country. And one of the very famous Sanskrit universities located in Germany. Why? Because he understood the depth of the language and the usefulness of that language to convey that most subtle ideas. Now, having explained what is this kshetram, the matter expressions, kshetrajna, the knower of the matter, jnanam, what is knowledge, jneyam, what is to be known. Now the teacher here, Krishna, takes up another set of words, that is Prakriti and Purusha. As he begins here, verse number 20 here. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidyanadi Ubhavapi Vikaramscha Gunanschaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. Sometime back, when I was in Calcutta, in the way back in 94, I took a group of people to Uttarakashi. My mother was also there in the traveling. And we happened to stop at Rishikesh. Shivananda Ashram was located, it's located. So, and around some 40 people were with me, traveling from Calcutta. So then, my uncle was also there at that time, traveling with my parents. So then I said that you all go ahead, I will take a dip in the Ganges and come. So they all went into the ashram and I went to take a small dip into the Ganges and slowly refreshed myself. And I did not know where these people have finally landed inside the ashram. So I went on inquiring and I found one of the Swamis who was there, whom I know. So he came in front of me and said, "Oh, I'm glad to meet you." Then he took, "Oh, your group has gone to meet Swami Krishnananda." At that time, he was the secretary of Divine Life Society, very well-known scholar, very deep thinker, a lot of books he has written. So I was also very glad to see him. At that time itself, he was past 80. Hard of hearing, but very alert in his conversation. So as soon as I entered the room in which he was sitting, and I saw all my, the delegates who came with me, they were also sitting around him. So here is your Acharya. So everybody said, "Yes." "Okay, I have a question for you." I was caught suddenly, what's going on? I have no idea. So what conversation went before I entered, I have no idea. So I looked at all of them. They were all looking at me very sympathetically. Because I graduated in 93, so just 1 year outside this Sandipani. So what is he going to ask me this question? He's an 80-year-old, well-read scholar and he's going to ask me a question now. So he looked at me and said, "So I heard that you are going to handle this text Advaita Makaranda for a camp in Uttarkashi for these people." I said, "Yes." "If you are to teach Advaita Makaranda, which is considered as one of the advanced texts, you have to answer my questions." "Okay. What is the question?" He said, "In 13th chapter of Gita, exactly this verse he quoted, it is said that both Prakriti and Purusha, matter and spirit, both are anadi, both are beginningless. If that is so, Krishna himself says that means it is duality. Because if two things are there, beginningless, meaning what? They are eternal. They have no beginning, meaning they have been there. That means they are eternal. If two things are eternal, then obviously it is duality. So is not Gita a Dvaita's Grantha? Krishna himself admits this, meaning it is talking about duality. Whereas Chinmaya has been telling that it is an Advaita Grantha, it is talking about non-duality. How would you reconcile this? So I stood there motionless for a while, but then I relaxed myself that yes, there is an answer for this. What is it? It is no doubt said that these both are anadi. But I have never read in Gita ever that they have no relationship. In the Sankhyan system, which is pretty much very close to Vedanta, it is believed that the matter has no origin, as much as Purusha, the spirit, has no origin. Why? Let us look at the logic. If matter has an origin, the origin has to be matter only. If the matter has to originate from something, matter must be originating from matter only. Where else it will come from? Because cause is what is expressing as effect. And if the spirit is not there, matter is not known. How do you know the matter without anything alive? If matter has to be known, matter does not know the matter. Two chairs are there, or many chairs are there, they don't know each other. The matter is known only when there is a conscious being. So the existence of the matter is not known unless there is a conscious being. Therefore, conscious being also must be eternal, obviously. And obviously the consciousness cannot be a product of matter. Because matter being inert and consciousness alive. That is sentient. This is insentient. And matter is changing. This is changeless. So it cannot be, the sentient spirit cannot be a product of matter. So Sankhya's have thought that they must be parallel. They have been there beginningless time. This has been there beginningless time. Otherwise, the matter is not known, therefore sentiency has to be there, the spirit has to be there, and matter cannot be said to have an origin, because if at all its origin, it should be another matter. What is the origin of that matter? Another matter. So it's infinite regress, it is called. Anavastha dosha. This in Sanskrit is called anavastha dosha, meaning there is no, you cannot go back and go say, A is the cause of B, B is the cause of C, C is the cause of B. You can go on and on and on. If you go back, from where from B came A, from where from A came X, from where X came Y, from where Y came, it goes on like that, infinite regress. So, Sankhya's have thought that these two are parallelly existing beginningless time. But Krishna says in Gita, later on or even before we have seen this, to reiterate this point, Krishna has very clearly said, I have two prakritis. Earlier, Bhumi rapo nalo vayuhu kam mano buddhirevacha ahankara idiyam me binna prakritirashtrata. Eightfold lower nature of mind is earth, water, fire, air, space, mind, intellect, ego. These are all mind visible expressions. And I myself in the higher form is the consciousness operating through this. Therefore, it is two hands of the same person. Prakriti and Purusha. Both are two expressions of the same reality. At the lower level, it is seen as Prakriti. In the higher level, it is understood as Purusha. Therefore, cause is the same, expressions are different. Therefore, it is Advaita. So he turned to the audience and said, you can learn Advaita Makaranda from him. He won't confuse you. That was a blessing of the great master there. So, here in this particular chapter, why should Krishna bring about this point? It is to show that Kshetram, earlier what is mentioned as the field and the knower of the field, which is itself is referred now here as a matter and the spirit, they are not two different things. I see the world and the seer of the world and what is seen are not two different things. They are two different dimensions of the same thing. As much as when you are dreaming, the dreamer you is himself is the dreamt world. The mind that is creating the dream is the same mind that is watching the dream. Extrapolating the same point, the seer of the world is the same as what is seen. At different level they operate, different dimensions. And thus it is Advaita. So here, when it is said, Vidhi anadi ubhau api, understand both of them to be beginningless, it apparently looks like he is accepting Sankhyan system, which does not accept existence of God. Sankhyan system is considered as Nastikavadin. They don't accept the existence of God. Nasti means non-acceptance of God's presence. Matter is there. It is like today's science. Today's science believes in matter, which is broken down and then you have energy. So the matter and energy, what they call it as, are not necessarily produced by God. It has been there. Why should God be there? Why should we bring God into this picture? Unnecessarily creating fear in anybody's head. Matter has been there. Why should we worry about the origin of this matter? It has been there all the time. Let us start with that way. So the science also at some point I would say there is no need for a particular God or a power to have created this world. World has never been created. It has always been there. Then, what will be your argument? What's the need for God? So here, Krishna apparently quotes the Sankhyan way of thinking as these two are both beginningless. That is why Krishna earlier also said, "Oh Arjuna, you have been there all the time. I have been there all the time. You will be there all the time. I shall be there all the time." So here, let us look at this the way he puts it. Prakriti, the very word Prakriti means Prakriti. Kru means to do. Karoti. Kriti, creation. Prakriti, procreation. This creative activity, that is called Prakriti. The creative activity is not a one-time affair. You go outside in the garden, it's a constant growth is going on, is it not? Never a stop. Constantly everything grows. You put a seed, it starts growing into a small sapling, and then there's a plant, and then there's a small tree, and then there's a huge thing, and then from there, then other seeds are coming in. Today, just before coming, I saw somebody wrote a beautiful statement. He said, "I dream a world where when the chicken is crossing the road, nobody is asking about its intention." Why should you ask about why did the chicken cross the road? Why don't you have a problem? It just went. It has its own intention. Why should you be bothered about that? So the trees, and then they create seeds, and then the seeds are creating further another new plants. And this is called Prakriti. A law that is going on and on and on and on. It never stops. And this continuous creation that is taking place is unknown unless there is a conscious being. This consciousness which is aware of this constant creation goes on, is called Purusha. Puri Shayanatva, that which resides in the midst of the creation. Puri means physical body, Shayanam means existing or lying there. Shayana literally means to lie down. That's why Shayanagraha is a bedroom. So, the Purusha is the one who is abiding in the Prakriti as the knower of the Prakriti, the awareness of the Prakriti, awareful of the existence of matter. So these two are eternally there. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidyanadi Ubhavapi. Now, what is the nature of this Prakriti? Vikara, change. The various modifications that are taking place every moment of our life. So your hair is turning grey, or hair is falling down, new teeth are coming for the new child, teeth is growing, teeth falls off, skin is changing, and your own physical body, so many changes that are taking place. Understand, that is Prakriti. That is the first quality, first nature of Prakriti. Second nature is, it has qualities. It has its own peculiarities. Not all of them behave in the same way. Now look around. Who is wearing a similar dress like yours? Look around. Is there anybody in this room is wearing a dress exactly like yours? That is called guna. The quality that is making everything unique. No two flowers actually look alike. However much you try to make it imitate, but it won't look alike. Some difference must be there. That is the nature of what is called quality, guna. No two people will behave or react the same way to any situation. Even if they are twins, they are look-alike, but they will be different. Their reactions will be different. So every one of us are combination of unique qualities. In today's world, what they call it as the combination of DNA structures, which makes us so unique. Nobody can be exactly like me. Impossible. Unless they, what do you call that? Clone me. But it is impossible to clone exactly, map it, because you do not know how many intricate details are there which you may miss. So quality, guna, is also prakriti. So prakriti works in two ways. One, in bringing about change and making it unique. Vikarans chagunans chaiva vidhi prakriti sambhavan. This is the nature of prakriti. So that is why it is ununderstandable for any thinking person how this universe is so intelligent. If these peculiarities are so unique and the constant change is taking place, it cannot be haphazard chaos. Even if you consider everything is happening in a chaos, there is some orderliness somewhere. It has to be an intelligence. Not necessarily a person, but there is an intelligent power that is behind the whole thing. So, continuing the nature of Prakriti, Krishna proceeds. Karya Karana Kartrutve Hetu Prakriti Rucchate Purusha Sukha Dukhanam Bhoktrutve Hetu Rucchate. Now you see, when you put a seed inside the earth and pour water and expose it to the sun, you are sure if there is a healthy seed, there must be a healthy plant. You have no doubt about that. How do you decide that? On what basis? On what basis you can come to conclusion that this is a healthy seed and a healthy seed should produce a healthy plant? How? How do you come to conclusion? See, science always comes to any conclusion by observation, experimentation and conclusion. First it observes a particular phenomenon, looks for the cause. If the cause is of this nature, the effect must be of that nature. Therefore, let us do an experiment. Create a relevant cause and see how the effect is. And if they, according to their prediction, that according to the cause, so is the effect, they conclude, yes. So, everything must have a cause and according to the cause, the effect is. This is called Karya Karana Sambandha. Karana means cause. Karya means effect. Sambandha, relationship. So cause and effect relationship is the field in which science excels. If there is somebody suffering some disease or sickness, they look for what is the cause. And then build a relationship. And then only they can they give the proper medicine. If they cannot determine what is the cause, then they say symptomatic treatment. We don't know. We do not know what caused it, but anyway, we will control the effect until we find the cause. Isn't that? So, the science always proceeds in the field of any field with respect to Karya Karana Sambandha, effect, cause and effect relationship. This cause and effect relationship so naturally taking place, and once you know the cause, the effect is for sure, and therefore this relationship is referred as Prakriti. That is the intelligence of the Prakriti. The Prakriti or the creative force is that which builds this relationship. If this is the nature of the cause, the effect will reflect the same quality. It cannot be otherwise. From a wood, you cannot bring a golden table. A wood will behave like wood only. So, karya, karana, kartrutve, in the production of effect and cause, hetu, the cause is, the reason is prakriti. Prakriti, hetu, prakriti ruchyate. Purusha is not involved in this. The Purusha, the spirit, is not involved in this process. The Purusha or the spirit is coming into the picture to experience the effect and the cause relationship and concludes it as joyful or sorrowful, happiness or unhappiness. So, if a young man and married to a person, and then when both of them are anxiously waiting for the child to come, and obviously when the child is about to be delivered and the man is so anxious, and finally he hears the cry of the child, so happy, I got the child. Now the question is education, growing up, for food and the cloth and the shelter and the this and then all the way. Then suddenly that also comes into the concern, responsibilities. On the one hand, he is happy that he got a child. On the other hand, he has got, oh my God, I have more responsibilities. I have more commitments. I cannot run away. Isn't it? So is it a joyful experience or a sorrowful experience? Joy on the one hand, commitment and responsibility on the other hand. That is not created by the Prakriti, you see. Prakriti or the creative force only created the child. Your thought is not created by the Prakriti. Now you are concerned. How do I handle this? That's Purusha. So, Purusha Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktrutve Heturuchyate. Purusha is the experiencer of joy and sorrow as a result of what is happening in Prakriti. You take the food and put inside your stomach, inside your mouth. The first spoon that you take of the sweet, the experience of it is highly pleasurable. Maybe you are hungry also. But if you overeat, the sufferer is also you only. What you have experienced as a joy will also lead into suffering if you don't control it. It's Prakriti is not Prakriti. The creative force does not say you eat more. It is not saying that. You make a mistake and you are the sufferer of that. So, Purusha Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktrutve Heturuchyate. So, the Prakriti, the creative force is that which builds a relationship between cause and effect. Whether you enjoy that process or not decided by the Prakriti. Our Gurudev used to say, when he used to give lectures, okay, after I finish this talk, where do you go? Where do you go? After finishing this talk, you go according to your own demands. Whatever is the thought that is there in your mind. Some people will go for a dinner. Some people will go for some movie maybe. Some people are already tired, they want to go to sleep. Not decided by whom? Not decided by me. Not decided by any one of them. It is your own mind. As per its attachment to what it demands from the body. What demands are there in the body. That is why in the next verse very clearly it says, where does the Purusha derive these experiences? The Purusha derives its experience in contact with Prakriti. This spirit by itself is free, but the experience of joy and sorrow is because a constant contact with the matter. Therefore he says in the next verse we see, Purusha Prakritis hi Bhunkte Prakriti Jan Gunan Karanam Gunasangosya Sadasat Yoni Janmasu. Let me warn you a little bit here. The word Purusha does not mean by itself is awareness. It is conditioned awareness, limited awareness. Because it is already in the midst of Prakriti. Otherwise you would have used the word Chaitanya or Paramatma or the self. No, the word Purusha is specially used, Puri, that's why I explained that. Purishayanatva, because it is in the midst of matter. Because it is now lodged in the matter, it has assumed the limitations. The example that is given is usually the water does not have a shape of its own. But as you pour into different containers, if it is a round container, it will take a round shape. If it is a flat container, it will take a flat that shape. If it is a narrow tube, it will take that shape. So what shape is the water? Depends. Why? According to the container. So the water that is inside the container, which has taken to a particular shape, is limited to that extent. In the same way, consciousness now associated with Prakriti is conditioned. This is called conditioned consciousness. And only the conditioned consciousness is experiencer of joy and sorrow. In the latest paper, Tapan Prasad, that question was raised, you probably might have seen that answer. The consciousness by itself is unconditioned. But in contact with the matter, it has to experience the nature of this Prakriti. That's why he says, Purusha, this conditioned consciousness, Prakritistaha, seated in the Prakriti. Now, if you are sitting in the chair, you are conditioned by the chair. You cannot move until you get up. If you get up, of course, you are leaving aside the chair, now you are free. If you are sitting in the chair, you are conditioned by the chair. In the same way, just imagine, the Purusha, that spirit, is conditioned by the matter now. And living within the matter, meaning living in identification, contact with the matter, it will experience the nature of this Prakriti. Purusha Prakritistohi, sitting inside that matter, Bhunkte, experiences Prakriti Jan Gunan, the qualities of the Prakriti or the matter. Now you see, when you go to a state of dream or deep sleep, you have apparently got detached from the matter to some extent. Even as you are sleeping with your mouth open, some people do that. I put a rasgulla in your mouth when you are sleeping. You will not experience any taste out of it. Why? You are Paramavairagi. At the time when you are sleeping, you have detached yourself from the body. And I give a gali also, such a useless fellow, ugly fellow, useless, unintelligent, foolish, unwise. You have no reaction. Why? Detached. You are not listening anything what I am saying. Why? Your mind is not associated with this ear anymore. Even if I put a beautiful treat into your mouth and ice cream I put, no taste. Beautiful fragrance that I bring in front of you, you don't experience anything. Your eyes are open, still you are sleeping. Some people are like that. I can see many of them. My body is there, eyes are open, but you are not there. So whatever is going on, you cannot capture it. So eyes are open, you don't see. Nose is open, you don't smell. Tongue is open, you don't taste. Ears are open, you don't hear. What does it mean? Detached from the Prakriti. Detached from the matter. For a time being, short period. That's why you're relaxed, happy. That happy sleeping experience is because not that matter is not there, but you are detached from the matter. So the qualities of the matter you are not experiencing at all at this moment. And do you know that the matter has been changing even when you go to sleep? That's why when you go to sleep for 8 hours or 6 hours, when you wake up you are 6 hours closer to the death. So tomorrow onwards I am not going to sleep. Whether you sleep it or not. So the body has already changed by the time. So you come back to the body, it is 6 hours older than the time you went inside. Isn't it? You cannot help it. Especially when you see children, small children, few months old. Even if you keep your eyes open on them, keep on watching, you will not know that they are growing. Isn't it? I do not know whether you keep measuring the scale and then keep it. Let us see what happens. They grow. So you by the naked eyes you cannot see the growth. So you weigh the child, first day, second day, it is more, third day, so it is more. And even the height of the child is constantly growing. That Prakriti is working. That matter is expressing itself. Even as the spirit is detaching from that matter, no experience from the matter will take place. But in general, this Purusha is seated in the Prakriti, experiencing Bhunkte Prakritijan Guna. Constantly Prakritijan, born out of Guna. The qualities of the matter is continuously experienced by the spirit that is seated within the matter. And these experiences are according to the Guna. That's a very interesting statement. Guna Sanga Asya Karanam. In two ways you can put it. Attachment to the qualities, attachment due to qualities, there is attachment. Guna Sangaha Asya Karanam. Asya, for this particular experience, the Karanam is, the cause is according to the quality you contact that very nature of the matter. Let me explain this a little bit. If a person is tamasic, meaning too much attached to the body, deriving maximum pleasure from the body, he cannot tolerate getting old. You know, it's also. Is it that? A person who is too attached to the sensuous experiences from the body, as he or she gets old, such a person will have a traumatic experience because I can no more experience what I have been experiencing with this physical body. That is why in Bhagavad also it is said. Then what is it said? Even as the Angam Galitam Palitam Mundam Dashana Vihinam Jatam Tundam Vruddho Yadi Grihitva Dandam Tatepina Munjati Asha Pindam. Physical body is old, frail, energy is gone, yet the desires are not gone. Such a person will suffer. Why? A tamasic person who is indulging, sensuous, will suffer the experience of old age as the body becomes old. Alright? What about a rajasic person? He will also suffer, but in a different way. I can't do anything. Not that I want to indulge it. I cannot, and the people don't respect me. People don't regard me. People don't give importance to me. I cannot do many things which I wanted to achieve. So, physical body as it gets old, he becomes restless. He becomes worried. He becomes angry. A sattvic person, a person who is identified with noble qualities, he says, at least now people understand I am wise. Yes, I accept that the body has become old. Therefore, whatever I have been doing, I need not do now. I have no intention to do those things anymore. I can do better things. I can make myself involved in something greater than this. This is sattva. Where he or she accepts the nature of the prakriti but does not regret or angry about it or restless about it. Instead, he makes use of that physical body, whatever it is, for something better or a higher purpose. So, according to the quality, so will be your experience. Prakriti constantly changes. You cannot stop that. The quality of the matter which is constantly changing cannot be stopped by you in any way. Superficially you can do so. Superficially you may look like 40, but actually you are 70. What can you do? You cannot reverse it. So, externally you may appear to be younger, but internally your body is failing. So, here, karanam guna sangosya. If you take the literal meaning of it, due to this quality, attachment to qualities, as Gurudev writes, due to the attachment of the qualities of the Prakriti, one has to come back to experience what he has not experienced so far. Therefore, rebirth. That is what is it. Sadasat yoni janmasu sangaha. So therefore, one who has not fulfilled his desires in this birth, because the body is failing, it cannot anymore go do that. So the desire is not gone. So therefore, due to the desire that he still possesses, in spite of the failure of the body, he has to come back again to experience it further. Just like when you have not finished a particular work today, you postpone it tomorrow, and as soon as you wake up tomorrow, first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, I didn't do it yesterday, I have to finish this. In the same way, an individual who has not fulfilled his desires or her desires, dies. What will be the cause of the birth? The cause of the birth is your desire which is unaccomplished. It's kind of scandalizing. So, that is why many people say, let me finish all desires, Swamiji. So that next birth I don't need to take. Why? Because all desires are fulfilled in this birth itself. Then I don't need to come back. That doesn't work like that here. It doesn't work like that. Because more you finish, the more desires will come. The desire is like, therefore it is said to be like a fire. In the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Geeta, Krishna clearly says that it is like a fire, constantly devouring. Kama yesha krodha yesha rajo guna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma vitti enam iha vairinam. It is a devourer of your energy and it constantly burns. Mahashano mahapapma vitti enam iha vairinam. Durasadam, it is very difficult to cross over this. So by saying that, okay, I will fulfill all my desires in this life, and therefore next year I don't need, next birth I don't need. You have tried it every year, I am telling you. 31st March, that's it. 1st January, I won't drink. Oh, wait. 2nd January, wait. 1st January you may not drink, because you won't even wake up on the 1st January. You're so much drunk you won't even wake up. Next to 2nd January, when you wake up, so your friend comes, hey, where were you? Yesterday we had a party. What party? We had a nice party. Okay, we'll have it today. Finished. What your conviction and your commitment not to drink and all, etc. on 31st December is gone with the wind. As you will see, therefore, desire can never be fulfilled by experiencing them. We have tried that many times. So one cannot say, okay, I will fulfill all my desires, therefore I will have no birth. Whatever you have not accomplished, completed in this life, will be the cause for the next one. That's what he says. Sat asat yoni janmaso. And what kind of a birth you take is decided by the quality of desires, and therefore be careful about what desires you have. If you are an eater of fish every day and then you want to eat more and more fish, you will become a fish, a bigger fish in a pond. Asat yoni, lower form. So what kind of a life you will get the next birth is decided by the quality of desires that you have. Not decided by anybody else. Don't think that Bhagavan Lord is sitting there and deciding, okay, this fellow should be man, that should be an animal, this should be a crocodile, that should be a fish. No, he has better things to do. He had programmed it such a way, you decide yourself. Why should I interfere in this? Gurudev used to say, Swami Chinmaya used to say, the blueprint of your next birth is already being drawn by you now. From the day you are born to in this birth, you already started drawing that. And when you die, that will be taken to the next birth. And immediately this production starts. You who decides this? So that is the reason why in our spiritual sadhana, the quality of thoughts that is there in our mind is that which decides what I will be. And you cannot help it unless you take immediate action to change it. That responsibility is yours. If I continue to have the thoughts which are vulgar or lusty or inimical or criminal and violent and destructive, negative, never a dream ever that you will have a different kind of birth in the next time. No. It's pretty much decided by that. So, karanam gunasangosya sad asat yoni janmasu. Birth in the lower form or a higher form, that is considered as here, Gurudev writes, good and evil wombs. Yoni means womb. So, according to the quality of your attachment to the nature, so will be your birth. If I am identified with my physical body so much, then you will become Jada only. See, as you have seen in the stories of Ramayana, etc., Gautama Rishi, when he realized that Ahalya is so gross in her identification, he said, if you are so gross, so much sensuous, just become a stone. That's why he cursed, become a stone. That's all, you will deserve that much only. So during those times, no birth is you need not wait for the birth, right away. The rishis had the power to manifest your fruits of action right there and then. Not necessary that you have to wait for the next birth. There and then they will give the judgment. They are given special authority by God. You fulfill the judgment there. So he told to Ahalya, you become a stone. Because that's what you're thinking like. So my identification with the physical body and its sensuousness and its gratification, only to that extent is my growth in the next birth. If I am more into my mind, emotions and feelings, etc., to that extent is my growth. So that is why it's a plant kingdom, animal kingdom, human kingdom. Plant kingdom is pretty much identified with the gross body, whereas animal kingdom is identified with the emotional personality, and human kingdom is supposed to be on the intellectual side, thinking, creativity, doing different things. So according to my identification, so will be my next birth. If So therefore, I should think about what kind of a quality of mind that I have. So will be my future. Karanam gunasangosya sadasat jonitan janmasu. Now, having said this very clearly, that Purusha the spirit, Prakriti the matter, these are the relationship. Prakriti the matter is also equally beginningless as much as the Purusha is also. The spirit and matter both are beginningless. And the relationship between the spirit and the matter, according to Sankhyan system, is both are infinite, and there need not be any other relationship other than each of them mutually experience each other. Whereas in Vedanta philosophy, both are two expressions of the same being. That is the way it is perceived by Krishna, the Vedavyasa here. And he says that these are two hands of the same person, and Prakriti, the matter, the creative force, the Purusha, the spirit, both of them are constantly in touch with each other. Purusha is seated in the Prakriti and therefore experiencer of the qualities and changes of the matter and becomes experiencer of joy and sorrow. And according to the way the spirit is identified with the matter, so will be its further progress in this spiritual journey. It may go to a lower form of existence, or a higher form of existence. It is not decided by the matter, it is decided by the way the spirit attaches itself to this matter. Good. So what is the role of God here? Unconditioned awareness. Now, because Krishna has to explain, there is a way out. Right? If I am a Purusha, all of us are. Purusha does not mean man. Purusha means a limited awareness. I, as a limited awareness, presently am so identified with my body, mind and intellect. Either I am identified with my gross body, or my emotions and feelings, or my thoughts and intellect. So, accordingly, my experience, joy or sorrow, it's a physical level, it's a pain and the pleasure. At the mind level, it is joy and sorrow. At the intellect level, it is success and failure. Is it not? At the physical level, the experience is what is favorable gives me pleasure, what is unfavorable gives me pain. At the emotional level, favorable things gives me joy and unfavorable things sorrow. At the intellect level, favorable things are called success and unfavorable things is called failure. Failure and joy, success are abstract concepts. Joy and sorrow are feelings, emotions. Pain and pleasure are physical. That's why a person is having a pain, physical body pain, you can clearly see that the pain is being experienced by that person. He expresses that. But when a person is having sorrow and shows a very smiling face, you will never know. And success and failure also, it is much more difficult to know. That's why many people ask me this question, Swamiji, are you a successful Swami? I don't know. What do you mean by success being a successful Swami? A successful businessman I can understand, makes a lot of money. Successful Swami also like that? I don't know. Cannot be. So the success and failure is more abstract. Cannot be seen in the physical sense. Look at me, I am a successful Swami. By looking at me, how do you know? So therefore, intellectual level it is success and failure. At the mind level it is joy and sorrow. At the physical level, pain and pleasure. This is our condition right now. Either we are sorrowful or we are happy. Either we consider success or a failure. Or either we are having pleasure or the pain. It constantly changes. Now, are we to be just a victim of this? No other way out. Krishna as a philosopher and a teacher here must show a way out. Therefore he shifts gears now. Now I will tell you what is beyond Prakriti and Purusha. Now we see the next one. Upadrashtanumanta cha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwarah Paramatmeti chapyuktah Dehesmin Purusha Parah Parapurusha, the higher nature of the same Purusha is God. This is such a wonderful statement he makes because in Mundakopanishad, this is brought in the form of two birds. One bird is sitting in the tree, where the another bird is also sitting in the same tree. And one bird is constantly enjoying all the fruits that are there in the tree, and the other one is just watching, not participating in eating any of the fruits. And the fellow who is eating the fruits, when he enjoys a fruit which is very ripe, what a nice, what a nice fruit. You are not experiencing it. So the other one is okay. I understand. You are enjoying the fruit. Good. The next one. So bitter. The other one says, now what about it? You experience that also. So you experience the most bitter thing also. You experience the joyful thing also. Other one who is not participating. So the one which is there, Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakaya, two birds are sitting in the same branch of a tree. Pippalam Swado Atti, Tayoranya Pippalam Swati Atti, Anashnan Anyo Apichakashi. One is enjoying the fruits of the tree, other one not doing that, watching. The one who is not engaging in that is called Ishvara, the God, presence. The other one who suffers the experience is called Jiva. The conditional and the unconditional. The conditional is called Jiva, who is subject to all experiences due to its association with the matter. The Ishvara, the unconditioned one, staying in the same place, is not the sufferer of that. Now one may think, okay, now you accept there are two. It is a way of putting things. It is the same bird is having two different conditions. Whenever it is identified with the matter, it becomes Jiva. Whenever it is not, it is Ishvara. That is why he says, Asmin Dehe, in this physical body of yours, Purushaha Para. There is the higher self. It is not another one, it is another condition. Just like when you are awake, you are called a waker. The same person only becomes a dreamer when he identified with the dream. The same person only is called a sleeper when he identifies sleep. Are you three people? You are not three individuals. You are three different conditions of experiences. So one is conditioned by the body and the world, they are called a waker. Another one is conditioned by the dream state of dream experiences of the mind, the dreamer. Another person, the same person, and another condition where the mind, dream is not there, identification of the body is not there, sleeper. And the same being, when he reaches an unconditioned condition or unconditioned state, is called Turiya. The fourth. The fourth, that is obtained in deep meditation, where he neither sleeps nor is awake, nor is he dreaming. He is not creating his own world of dream, imagined world, nor he is awake to the world outside, nor even sleeping. That is Turiya. Fourth. That is called the unconditioned one. So here, when he says, Asmin Dehe, in this very body, Purusha, that very Purusha, the conditioned one, becomes Paraha. In 15th chapter, he will explain that Purushottama. Purusheshu Uttama. So, and also he is referred as Paramatma. Paramatma iti cha api yukta. He is also referred as the higher self, supreme self. Param Atma, Paramatma, supreme self. Who, this very Purusha which is sitting in your own body, he himself is the Paramatma. This is where the Advaita comes in. Right? It is not Paramatma sitting somewhere else. It is not somewhere behind the clouds, hiding himself away. In one's own body. And Krishna has no doubt about it. In this very body of yours. Asmin Dehe. In this very body of yours. Purushaha, that very self, conditioned self, is Paraha, unconditioned, which is also known as Paramatma, the Supreme Self. What does he do? Does he get attached to the qualities of Prakriti? Does he enjoy the joys and sorrows and pains and pleasures and success and failures? No. What does he do? Upadrashta. It's a very beautiful statement. Upa means close. Drashta, watching. He is closely watching you. We often ignore that part of it. There is a part of you which is, when invoked, he becomes a close observer. But this observing itself is mute in us. And therefore, even when we are doing anything wrong, sin, or something very heinous, inhuman, we are not even aware that this is done. Why? That fellow is mute. That aspect of our personality is muted. Voiceless. So what is a spiritual practice? Unmute. Make him open his voice, open his mouth and start speaking. What we generally call it as conscience. The conscience need not be a product of education, or a product of culture, or a product of any particular experience. It is in us, in all of us, whether you are an educated or uneducated, no, a man of intelligence or foolishness. This presence inside, which is a constant witness, can be unmuted. Do you mean to say in the past, where they have not studied in these universities and the big books, were fools? In fact, they are much more wiser than us. Because they have unmuted this constant witness. Upadrashta, close observer. But this very peculiar thing is, this Lord, Supreme Self, Paramatma, who is sitting there within us, the Lord who is present there as a higher self within us, even though he is a close observer of whatever we do, he decided not to interfere. Anumanta, he allows whatever you want to do. Anumati means permission. Anumanta, not Hanumanta. Hanuman, nay, Hanuman, nay. Anumanta, not Hanuman. Anumanta. Anu means following. Manta means according to your, Manta means opinion. Go ahead. So God does not interfere with what you do. The one who is sitting in your heart does not interfere with what you do. Because he only smiles. If you do wrong thing, you will suffer. And I will see you suffering. I don't interfere. I don't want to do that. Your karma, you must experience. Your actions, you must suffer. Then only you will know what it is. If I interfere, it is like this. When your son, let us say, or a daughter, have come up to age to get married, etc., and you have been telling them, you get married, better get married, and that fellow is very getting annoyed. If you want, you fix a girl for me. Let us say, out of anger he says that because he is not able to anymore take your nagging, continuous nagging. You decide. But I'm telling you, never you do that. If you do it, and if it doesn't work out, it will turn because of you. Because of you, I married this one. You see? Anumanta, you do it. I can only tell you that you should do it, but you do whatever you want. If you, that God is very, very, the Bhagavan sitting here is a very intelligent. I won't interfere. Tomorrow, if something goes wrong, I am not responsible for this. So whatever you want to do according to your whim, do it. Anumanta, admitter, permitter. He permits everything. Do you mean to say the most wanted criminal, the Lord has left him? No, he is pretty much there. Allowing him to do. Not he is encouraging him to do. Don't take it that way. Neither he encourages him to do, nor he stops him. So even in the most wanted criminal, that presence of the Lord is behind that person has awareness, waiting and watching. What is he doing? According to his own past actions and thoughts, he will react to this world based upon his knowledge, based upon his education, based upon his own experience. He will do it. Let him go through. Upadrashta, close observer. Anumanta, permitter. Bharta, Benganka. Not Benganka. Bharta here means. Bharta means supporter. Supporter means what? Does he support what you do? No. Support you. Not what you do. He sustains you. He makes sure that you live. Now when you go to sleep, who is breathing there? Do you? I'm breathing out. I'm breathing. Only when you have asthma you will have that problem. But otherwise, every breath, you don't count. You don't become aware. When you eat the food, who digests that food? What that power that making the digestion possible? Is it not when you are in sleep, are you not growing? Is it not the life is expressing through the various part of various cells are dying, new cells are coming? Is it not the Prakriti is active because of the touch of life? If the life has been gone, then the body will not have any more growth. It will just immediately, at that very moment, it will die. It will lose all its vitality. What is the difference between a dead person and a person who is sleeping? In a dead person also there is no movement. In the sleeping person also there is no movement. But there is expression of life is in a very subtle manner going on in a sleeping person or in a person in coma. So Bharta here means sustainer, to be precise, not supporting what you do, but sustaining your life. Bharta. Bhokta, here it is to be understood as making the experiences possible, not he is the experiencer. All our joyful or sorrowful experiences, or pain or pleasure, are possible because I am alive. So keeping me alive as an experiencer, the Lord is functioning there as a close observer. Maheshwara, the Lord. So he is referred as Maheshwara, Paramatma, Uttama Purusha. So please understand, in our own physical body, there is this presence of the Lord as a close observer, one who permits whatever I do, one who sustains me, one who makes me experience all experiences, yet non-participating. That is the reason why in our Hindu tradition, after your Grahastha state of householder, the third stage is where you start imitating God. What does that mean? Vanaprastha. What does it mean? You are at home, don't interfere. Whatever your children are doing, whatever your daughter-in-law is doing, chalo, karne do usko. Let me not interfere. They will be, the way they are handling their children, it is their children. Don't worry about it. Let them do it. After all, my grandchild, that's our problem. Leave it. Leave it. So by that, you are becoming like a God. Meaning, just witness it, notice it, don't comment it. Do you mean to say all our atrocities are not watched by Him? He watches. And that's why when you go to the temple, he smiles. I know what you have done. What you have done, I know. You are going to come and complain to me. Even as you are doing it, I know it. You don't need to even tell me. See, if you have done something, do you have to tell yourself, I have done this, I have done this, I have done this? Do you have to tell yourself? You know it because you are the doer. The one behind the doer is He. He is watching what you are doing. Then why do you need to tell? Thus the Lord is Upadrashta, Anumanta, cha Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwara, Paramatma, cha Idi Abhiuktaha, Dehesmin Purushaparaha. In this physical body itself is where the Lord is constantly witnessing it. Now, how that will help me now? Now, you see, you have a choice of remaining as a conditioned self or move to the unconditioned one. That choice is yours. This is the way out. The way out of this samsara, the world of conditioned existence is, you choose to be a conditioned being, which is just the Purusha, or as Jiva, or you can be a Paramatma. You can continue to be in contact with this Prakriti and suffer its nature and changes and experiences, or just be a witness to whatever is going on. And do not ever become a victim of either sorrow nor joy. What we want is joy. That's why when you are doing the puja, Om Jaya Jagadisha Hare Swami Jaya Jagadisha Hare. What is that? Bhakta Janom ke sankat kshan mein dur kare. Why sankat kshan mein dur kare? You want only the displeasure and pain to go away. One side of the coin you don't want to see. Other side of the coin you want. How can that be? Both sides are there. If there are pains, there will be pleasures. If there are pleasures, there will be pain also. Now I want Sukham only. No. God very clear. If you want Sukham, take the Dukkham also. It's a combo. You have to take as a, what is called? Package deal. You cannot have only one. If you want both. That is why in the beginning of the year, in many of the traditions, Ugadi or Gudi Padwa, what they give? They give you sweet, along with that, something bitter also. Isn't it? Don't they give that? What is that? Neem ka wo paste, lagao. Ye bhi le lo. Because the joy, life will bring both. So you cannot ask Him to give you only the pleasure, only the joy, only the success. Lord says, either you take both or leave both. That's the deal. Are you deal? If you become the Upadrashta, close observer, Anumanta, permitter, that means what? You permit both joy and pleasure, joy and pain, joy and sorrow, pain and pleasure. Both should be admitted. So, let it be so. Then you are shifting yourself from Jiva to Paramatma. From the sufferer of a limited existence to a evolved, unlimited consciousness. We are presently limited consciousness because we take only a part of the Prakriti and we try to reject the other one. Bhagavan says, no. Take both. Never complain. Experience the joys, experience the sorrow, but be away from it. Allow it. Don't take sides. Be a witness. Don't complain. Then you are closer to God. So that's why he says in the next verse, we see that Ya evam veti purusham prakritim cha gunai saha sarvata vartamanopi nasabhuyo vijayate. Yaha, he who, evam, in this way, veti, knows, what? Purusham and prakritim. The Purusha, the conditioned consciousness, which is presently suffering the experiences due to association with the matter, and the matter, and its nature, and its peculiarities, gunaihi saha, along with its qualities, according to the qualities of the Purusha, the spirit, which is experiencer of joys and sorrows, qualities of the Prakriti in the form of, which creates a connection between cause and effect, vikara, the changes, and the qualities, unique qualities. When one knows all these things, and then he also knows how to get out of this, as it is said in the previous verse. Such a person, sarvata, always, in many ways, vartamanaha api, even though transacts in this world, saha, such a person, na, not at all, bhuyaha, again, abhijayate, will be born. He will not be born again. No more born again Hindu. Born again human. Now you will not come back. Why? Because you have decided to just get out of the whole thing. Desire brings you back. Because I have some more things to experience through this matter, I have to come back. When I know that I am different from this, I have no reason to get attached to this matter, there is no need for that person to again come back. It's finished, his story is over. But Swamiji, I want to come back. Why do I not come back? Okay, you want to come back, right? Fine. Very good. No, nothing wrong with that. But in what form you can come back, who will decide? I told you. According to your quality of thought. So be careful about what way you want to come back. It's again your choice. You want to come back? Okay, fine. But in what kind of a body you want to come back is not again decided by anybody else. You decide. So those sattvic desires you keep in your mind, then you will be born in a very beautiful, noble environment and you continue. But once you decide that, okay, I'm done, enough is enough, there's no more I want to come back. So it is said by some other scripture that such individuals do not come back, they become the hands and legs of the Lord and He will use them. And they become born as the very birth itself, they become saints. They become avatar of the Lord. They become the manifestations of God. And they come for a particular purpose to communicate the knowledge of God and then they disappear. Like Shankaracharya, Ramana Maharshi and such other people. At a very early age they understood, okay, my job is done. Meaning, as a human being, whatever I want to do, experience is over. Now my job is, whatever he says I have to do. As Christ would say, I am not an individual, I am the servant of the Lord. Me and my Father and our own are the same. Meaning, I have understood, I have no individual personality anymore. I am here as expression of God. Such individual will become the very expression of the Lord's beauty. So here, Sarvata Vartamanaha api, even though he engages in this world, Nasabhuhayaha Vijayati, he doesn't come back again. There's no more returning back to the earth, coming back to the human existence or any existence. He becomes one with the divinity, called enlightenment, moksha, liberation, nirvana. So it is, now you see how simple it is. He doesn't say go to a particular place and do some meditation or do some japa or do some puja. No. Shift your attention. From where? From being a limited, conditioned consciousness, associated with the matter, next experiencing all the joys and sorrows and qualities of this matter, to witness. Upadrashta, observer. Do not participate in the qualities of the body and demands of the body and the mind. Just to be an observer. It is hard, there is no doubt about that. Because we have been so habituated, so much been living a life of merely succumbing to the demands of the body, mind, etc. To become a witness, that shift is not easy. But unless we start now, we will never be able to move forward. Krishna therefore says, start somewhere. Shift yourself from the conditioned to the unconditioned. That's why asato ma sadgamaya. From the unreal to the real. And when we say it in Sanskrit, people do not understand. When the Beatles, when they say it, is very interesting. Asato ma sadgamaya. Wow. Is it not? Asatoma satgame. From the asat, non-existence, go to asat. Tamasoma. From the darkness, jyotirgamaya, to the light. Mrityorma. From the death, amrudam gamaya, to become deathless. So I think they have made a song also out of that. Do you remember that? They are part of that ISKCON movement, maybe. And they made this. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, he was a follower, they were followers of that. Then they made this like a song, the Beatles. So, shifting your attention from the conditioned to the unconditioned, from the false to the truth, from the dark to the darkness to the light, from the mortality to immortality. So that shift is our own choice, my own choice. So Krishna says, it's up to you now. I am not forcing you. Do it. Today, tomorrow, someday you have to do it. And when you do it, you are out of this endless cycle of conditioned existence. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhamat Bhaved. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. So tomorrow probably I may finish it also, I don't know. Then we'll see if I have time, some question answers, etc. All right. 11 more are there.